to UCalgary Feud. Today we have from the Haskayne School of Business.
I'm Stella and I'm majoring in International Business Strategy.
From the Schulich School of Engineering we have.
I'm Natalie and I'm a second-year chemical engineering student.
Welcome to the feud.
My opinion on engineering majors isn't very good. You know, they have some bad stereotypes associated with them, like the fact that they have terrible hygiene. But some of them are really nice.
I think that both engineering and business majors have huge egos, but the difference is ours are actually, warranted. So they're just so far beneath us.
They don't know how to dress. And actually, one time Natalie begged me to take her shopping because she said, and I quote, that I have much better style than her.
Okay, that was one time. One time we went shopping together. I asked her to advise me on some tops.
They never shower, lack social skills.
Somehow try hard but lazy at the same time.
Well, engineering and business have often been known to rip each other to shreds, so I'm not quite sure what the outcome will be. Well, the first question for you lovely ladies is which major would survive in a zombie apocalypse?
In a zombie apocalypse, you need immediate action. Business students, we're resourceful, we have skills, we can negotiate, we can fight with other people, and we can lie really well. Natalie is gonna spend all of her time trying to build something that's not gonna do anything, and she's gonna be eaten, and she's gonna be gone.
Okay, everyone recognize that in order to survive the zombie apocalypse, you need to have skills. That is the prerequisite that this side of the house is lacking, okay? Even if our technologies and our knowledge do take some time to implement, at least we have somewhat useful things we can do that are applicable. Like weapons, I don't know.
It doesn't take a genius to use a gun, okay?
No.
Natalie's gonna be sitting here like, oh, what is the chemical makeup of this gun
more than anybody else. We have the most stressful
So you're
workload,
not good under pressure.
We are best under pressure is my exact point, right? Which is how we're going to be more resourceful on our side to actually survive the zombie apocalypse. All they know to do is increase shareholder value, which doesn't exist in the zombie apocalypse.
That's important because even in the most dire situations, we care about creating value. So we're going to work together. Engineers are very individualistic. They don't want to come together as a community. Natalie's gonna be sitting by herself, all shy and scared, trying to figure out how to build something. And we're gonna be out here actually making things happen. We're gonna be recruiting people on our side.
You think engineers are...
Point to business. Next question. Second question. Which major gets the most homework?
Us. Okay, recognize that I spent 5 hours yesterday staying up till 3 a.m. trying to finish my thermodynamics project. Even if, Stella does any level better in this debate, it's because I, as an engineer, am so swamped with my extra workload.
I concede that Natalie has more homework, but that doesn't mean she wins. She's basically saying my major is better because it sucks more. My major is better because I have more homework. I feel like that's just a reason that business is better, because we have less homework.
Overall, we still win having more homework.
Point to Schulich.
Thank you.
No, that's ridiculous.
The next question is which major would win in a fight?
Obviously me. Natalie literally can't fight, okay? In a verbal fight, I'm gonna beat her.
Stella's taller, maybe she would win on that front. Otherwise, we win on every other domain, okay?
How so?
I could easily take her down because she's too busy, being a narcissistic, toxic
And you're too busy trying to figure out how to build stupid stuff. What have you built, Natalie? Silence!
Okay. Point to Haskayne. The next question for these lovely ladies is which major has more fun?
Obviously business. I mean, there are stereotypes that we go to more parties, we do more fun things. She already admitted that she has so much homework. What is she doing for fun in her free time? She literally said, and I quote, "The reason that I would lose this debate is because I spent all my time on my homework." So clearly she's not going out and having fun.
Schulich clubs are much more active for this exact reason.
I
We're
highly
also just
disagree.
doing things that are more
Clubs
substantial
in Haskayne
more
are
meaningful.
very based off of community work. I have an entire class that's about group work. But also, business students better understand work-life balance.
Okay.
Point
to Haskayne. The next question is why should someone join your major?
Because you'll learn actually meaningful skills instead of just scheming all day about ways you can increase shareholder value without doing any actual work, right? You learn things that make you feel fulfilled at the end.
Business opens up so many doors for you. You can go into law school easily. You can go into literally any of the 10 different majors in business. You're more likely to get real hands-on experience at interacting with people.
Point to Haskayne. The next question I have for these lovely ladies is which major has more job prospects?
Engineering.
How?
I can graduate and they'll literally hand me money. Okay, 95% of the people in my program get an internship like this. There's a very high demand for engineers, and I don't think the same exists on your side of the house.
Business really easily equips you to transfer into other things, like I've already said, things like law school, going into politics.
But engineering is also a very versatile degree. You don't have to just be like designing something in a corner. There's a lot of, the world of project management and all these other roles. Because engineers have this technical understanding, they can kind of create that bridge and fill all these other gaps. So there's a lot more jobs.
I don't think so.
Point to
I don't
Schulich.
think. Bruh.
The next question is a very, very good one. Which major is going to make more money?
On average, people in business have like a very unlimited earning potential because a lot of the jobs that you go to in business have like commissions aspects to them. So you can get salary, but you can also make a commission. For example, if you're in investment banking, if you're in wealth management, the earning potential is limitless. Whereas in engineering, you get a salary. You usually don't have unlimited earning potential. You can also use it to go into a lot of different fields.
Their characterization that all engineering jobs are like salary based is completely wrong. You can literally just look at the world right now. All of the most wealthy individuals with the most power were engineers or some kind of figure that designed or engineered a product and were able to, promote
And a lot of
and
them
create
had
their
business
most
degrees.
But the thing that allowed them to advance so much was the
their
fact that
business
they
degree.
had
And the
an
fact that they
engineered
had
product
connections.
that they could actually
Because
start
I
up.
think
This is why
something that's
startups are
really
better on our
important,
side of the
something
house.
that's really important about business is networking. Because the
No,
network you have
commission
access to in the
can only
business
get you
world
so
is
far.
far higher than the networking abilities you have in like engineering. And Natalie will even admit this because she'll say that
Networking
business
is a
students are
soft skill
tryhard.
that you learn on both
Network,
sides of the
yes,
house, right?
networking.
Any
You
good
might,
engineer
you
also
might,
learns
you might
networking
have the
skills.
ability to network equally on both sides of the house, but your doorway is much bigger because the amount of networking events they have on their side versus our side is far different. She can't make the claim that it is. I go to a networking event like 6 times a day. There's constantly networking events being hosted by business students. That's where most people become
only
successful.
Get you halfway. You need to network,
Of
make that
course.
connection, but you also need to have something
But
to
if you
offer
don't even
that
have that
connection.
connection in the first place, you can't get your foot
We
in the door.
we've showed why we're just as well able to create those connections, and once we actually have those connections, we
It doesn't
have that
matter if you, like you as an individual,
skill
know
that
that
allows
you're good
us
at
to,
networking, but you don't
act on
have the same
connection
amount
and
of
how to take us
access.
so much further.
Which one of you will buy me dinner?
Me.
Print to Haskayne. The next question is, which major is more difficult?
We are more difficult. You guys try very hard, and you're very competitive, but there's, not really a point.
Even if I agree that engineering is more difficult, again, Natalie's shooting herself in the foot. Because she's saying our degree is a lot more difficult when we have around like the same earning potential and like future prospects.
You're not
So she's just
necessarily
putting
have the
herself
same
through all
earning
of this
potential.
like garbage just to like say that she had something more difficult. In business, there are so many different courses you can take. Like some of the most difficult courses most people take in their lives is finance. And like they're even like dual
Your
degrees with
finance course
engineering
is
and
never gonna
comp
be
sci.
harder than
I
my
know
food
3
mechanics
people who are
courses.
doing a dual degree in engine business and they say finance is the hardest course they've ever taken. So I think that for her to say, oh, it's harder because like we do science, this again perpetuates a lot of stereotypes that tries to put other people down, saying that, engineering is harder because we're math and science based. But not everyone thinks the same way. A lot of people want to be more creative, and that's hard too,
I like
and that's
that
just
you
as
brought up
important.
Dual majors, because literally every single one of the 10 business majors I know relates more to their engineering degree. It's more of the main character degree. It's more substantial because the skills that you're learning fresh for the first time stick with you a lot more, right? Our course is harder, and we're not shooting ourselves in the foot by saying that because a difficult program reflects the value of that program, right?
Point
on
to
being
Schulich.
more difficult. Thank you.
What is the biggest misconception about your major?
That we're all, going gray and like ripping out our hair all the time from doing projects. This is only true to an extent. There's a lot of joy in the daily life of an engineer. I also think that it's a lot more communal than people give it credit for. As someone like going into engineering, I thought I would just be like some introvert, like working on my project alone, but I found that it's actually a very great environment to make a lot of friends and develop good connections with others.
People think that business majors are very like snaky and they only really care about themselves and like getting ahead and maximizing shareholder value. But the biggest sense of community I've ever felt is in business. So being on things like JDC West, which Liva was sort of involved with, these are all like business clubs that are teams that you come together and you meet other people and network with other people. It is like really a family in business. There's so much access to just meeting new people, and because so many different types of people, we have tons of international students in business can all come together and learn from each other. And I think like this idea that we're all super selfish and like only like focused on yourself. I mean, there are people like that in any major, but I think business kids really want to work together, again, because we have so much group work.
No pointing awarded. The next question is, what skills does your major actually build?
I can confidently say for me is like interpersonal skills is number one. Being able to go into any room and having confidence to be able to talk to literally anyone. A lot of people come into business and they're maybe scared, they're not as confident, but through all the networking we do, throughout really the focuses of business and the main drives of business, people are able to overcome those fears and feel empowered. I think also another one is working in teams, which is really important. No business can thrive without teamwork, and I think that's something that's really, really important. These might seem like more soft skills, but I think these are like the most important skills in life. Because if you don't have teamwork skills, if you don't have interpersonal skills, you're gonna fail.
Yeah, so in engineering we learn a lot of like really hard math, a lot of really hard physics concepts, right? It's not that those specific concepts are the most important thing. I think what you get out of going through that is you become a very good critical thinker, and you get very good at quickly being able to learn new things and like understand ideas and concepts really well. And then the next thing I want to touch on, which is maybe symmetric to both sides as well, are those teamworking and interpersonal skills. There's hardly a single project you do in engineering that's just on your own. Everything requires teamwork, even the assignments, because they're so difficult for all these reasons we talked about. You need like a whole village to basically like do one 3-hour question, and this creates a much stronger level of bonding.
Point to Schulich. At the end of UCalgary Feud, both majors have tried very hard, but only one may be victorious. Will both contestants please step forward? On a very close decision, the win goes to the Haskayne School of Business.
Yay! It's okay, Natalie.
Why not? I know I'm already winning because I'm in an engineering degree and not a business degree, so it's fine.
What do you
Yeah,
guys
she says that, and now she's gonna go cry about how she wants to transfer into business, but she can't anymore because we don't want
I'm
her.
gonna do my projects, get good skills, and then graduate happy.
Sure. With gray hair.
I'm already winning. She's good.
Hi, Stella. Here's your award. Get harder. How do you get stuck with this?
Rotate your hips into it like a baseball.
Okay. That's hard. I can't.
Can I just rip it over?
Yeah.